Don't go back to the place that God delivered you from. I'll say it again. Do not go back to the place where God delivered you from. Don't go back to the place that you prayed your way out of. You spent a lot of time praying your way out of that place. Don't be so quick to go back there. It's craziness. Now you're thinking to yourself, Brother Robert, why are you saying what you just said? Well, this is the thing. When we are in a place where we're in bondage and we are doing evil, and we are on our knees every single day saying, Lord, Lord, deliver me. Lord, Lord, deliver me from this situation. Lord, Lord, deliver me from this wickedness. Or we're saying, Lord, Lord, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry I did it again. Lord, free me from this snare of the devil. Free me from this bondage. See, many of us have prayed that prayer, including yours truly. Brother Robert, how many times have you prayed that prayer? Many times, but let me show you something. We pray that prayer sometimes for a long time, and other times for a short time. And God actually delivers us, God actually delivers us from that situation. He delivers us from that bondage. He delivers us from the snare of the devil. He actually sets us free, and he even forgives us. But instead of walking in that freeness, instead of walking in that deliverance, within a few days, we're back to what we was doing. We're back to the snare. We're back doing the sin that we was delivered from. We're back doing the actual wickedness that we was delivered from. We're back doing it again. This is why I'm saying to you, don't go back to the thing that God delivered you from. See, you was praying and fasting for breakthrough. You was praying and fasting for God to deliver you. You was praying and fasting for God to set you free. You was praying and fasting for the faith to receive forgiveness from God. God's already forgiven you. It's you need to pray so you can actually receive the forgiveness from God. See, God gives us all things to enjoy, okay? He gives us freedom, he gives us grace and mercy. But the thing is, you find it hard to receive that. The problem is us receiving things from God, and that's why we need to fast and pray, so we can get into a position where we can receive what God has for us. So in this case, what I'm saying here, God gives us freedom, he gives us deliverance, he gives us mercy, but we have to go into prayer and fasting to be able to receive it. Now, many of you have been doing that. Many of you have done that. You've been doing 2-day fasts. You've been praying, seeking God's face. Or you've been praying for hours. You've been praying for days. And you got delivered. So I'm saying that after all that prayer that you've been doing, why go back to the same thing you was delivered from? It doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna be quite candid with you and quite straight. See, you know for a fact that when you are delivered from doing certain things, from doing certain evils, and you've been forgiven and you've been set free, you know the stages and you know what the devil's going to do. You know the stages and you know the actions that take you to that place that you was delivered from. But a lot of us continue to live our lives blasé, okay, ignorant of that fact. Because what you've got to understand is that when you've been delivered from these certain wickednesses and you've been forgiven and set free, the devil is going to try to tempt you to go back to that place that you was delivered from. It's a telltale sign. It happens all the time. When you've been delivered, the devil's going to turn up sometime during that day, sometime during that week, to tempt you back into the cesspit, the cesspool that you was delivered from. The devil's going to pop up out of your pop-up and begin to tempt you back into that place. And this is the thing, like I just said, you know the steps. You know that when you've been delivered from, I don't know, you've been delivered from fornication. You just know within a week that X is gonna phone you up, or someone's gonna give you a phone call and they're gonna invite you out somewhere. And you know that this happens all the time. But that's what the devil does. The devil is not doing anything new to trap you. He's doing his old tried and tested things. And that's what we need to understand. So because we know what the enemy is going to be doing, don't be so quick to go back to the place that you've been delivered from. It happened to me for years. I was always falling into sin, getting delivered, falling into sin, asking God for mercy, falling into sin, begging God to forgive me, begging God for grace and all that sort of stuff. But you know what happened to me? I got sick and tired of doing it. So I decided one day, I'm not going back there again. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that no more because it causes so much pain and agony. Have you noticed that? That when God has freed you and set you free and given you deliverance, and then you end up going back to the same thing that you was delivered from, that it hurts your heart and you feel the Holy Spirit being grieved? Listen, stop doing it. Don't be so fast to go back to the place that God delivered you from, because you was praying in tears, you was fasting, and you was having a detox what's it called? A detox brain headache, a detox headache, because you wasn't eating for 2 days and 3 days and that stuff there, fasting and praying about the situation. You put a lot of work in. So why go back to the same place where you was delivered from? Why go back to the same place where all the pain and agony is? Who would want to do that? That's why when we get delivered, we have to remain sober. We have to remain sober and vigilant. Why? Because your enemy, the devil, roameth around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. When you've been delivered, the devil's going to turn up, roam around and try to snare you back into the thing that you was delivered from. So you've been delivered, keep your deliverance. Fight to keep your deliverance. Fight to stay delivered. When the devil turns up in the shadows, trying to tempt you away and lure you away, you need to be sober and ready, because that's what the devil's going to do. That's what the devil always does. He always does the same thing over and over and over again, but you've got to have the power to say no. Anyway, let me leave it there. It's Robert, an ambassador for Christ. See you guys on the next video.